Chelsea squander a brace from Tammy Abraham and surrender an equalizer late to Sheffield United. Let's get into it. Greetings! Welcome back to Season 2 of Couch Critic. Dennis P. sat here on my couch musing Chelsea Football Club. Now before I get to that Sheffield Chelsea review, can you please do me a big favor and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that bell notification button to keep up with the latest and the newest? Okay, so Chelsea played host to Sheffield United up at Stamford Bridge today and were unfortunate not to get all 3 points. They were pegged back late by a late equalizer, courtesy of an own goal by Kurt Zuma, and were unable to find the winner. Now for this particular match review, I'm going to be focusing on 2 things: leadership, both on and off the pitch, in-game tactical switches, and also match preparation. I'm going to start right in on the captain, Cesar Azpilicueta. He's had a really rough start to the beginning of the season, making mistake after mistake, some punished, some not, but overall his game has been really poor up to this point in the season. And we're not getting the leadership from him on the pitch. Now what you want to see from your leadership, your captain, the extension of the manager on the pitch, is somebody who can galvanize the team, either by shaking them up when they're down or by getting them back in line when we lose shape and whatnot. And we're just getting none of that from Azpilicueta. And then on top of that, he's making too many crucial errors to be relied on as a captain as far as I'm concerned. Your captain needs to be either the example on the pitch that you can use as your rock, or he has to be that vocal leader that can definitely shake you out of the doldrums, and right now he's giving us neither. And make no mistake, we have a young team, a team that's going to make mistakes, gaining experience in the toughest league in the world right now, and we're going to see a lot of growing pains that come with that. But having said that, it's going to be very difficult to, galvanize a team when you're the one that's responsible for 1 and 2 and 3 errors that lead to goals or goal-scoring opportunities in the squad. And let's get this out of the way right away. Azpilicueta has been an incredible servant for Chelsea Football Club. The first few years of his career, 2013 right up to 2017, I'd say, he was remarkable for us, and it was probably the reason why he earned the captain's armband in the first place. An unbelievable servant for this club, and he's done that £7 million that we paid for him, unbelievable justice. But I mean, if you're gonna wear the captain's armband at a club like Chelsea, you need to be the living example of what it means to wear that shirt with pride, bring honor to the badge. And the examples that we have of that are the John Terrys, the Frank Lampards, the Didier Drogbas, the guys that you can really just, even like Michael Ballack, guys like that you can really see, understand what it means to wear that shirt with pride and, to bring honor to the badge and whatnot. And like right now, what we're seeing from Azpilicueta is the exact opposite. Not only is he making so many mistakes that demoralize the team, but he's not galvanizing them either. He's not the guy that we can look to on the pitch and be like, yeah, well, we're struggling right now, but look at his effort on the pitch. Look what he's doing right now. Now I have to pick up myself and get back to the level, the standard that this team expects me to play at. We're just not seeing it from him right now, and it's becoming a bit of a worry as far as I'm concerned. What I feel the squad needs right now is proper leadership on the pitch, and for my money right now, given what I've seen these last few games, that's Jorginho for me. He's been the guy that's galvanizing the team, getting them up, getting them down. He has ice in his veins, and while he's not mistake-free, he's the kind of guy that definitely doesn't hang his head when he makes a mistake. Let me make this point clear. Jorginho is not ideally what I want to see in a Chelsea football captain. I want to see a center back who's a commanding presence, a guy that knows how to galvanize a team and organize a back four, and just a strong physical, mental presence on the pitch. The standard that we set for ourselves at Chelsea Football Club is to cultivate a leader who is a leader amongst leaders, a man that can step onto the pitch and command the presence of and the respect of all the players on the team, and also lead them to victory. That's the standard that we set for ourselves, and that's what we have to hold ourselves to, the John Terry level as far as I'm concerned. Regardless of whether or not you deem him as a generational talent, that's what we want as a leader. That's what we need as the gold mark, the gold standard, and anything underneath that is just not proper leadership as far as I'm concerned. Now, for the 4th week in a row, Chelsea have come out of the gates flying, looking very good, looking very solid at the back, which means that the preparation done on the training pitch has been very good, and we're seeing the benefits of that. It looked like what they were trying to do early on in the game and throughout the first half was try to get Tammy isolated against their defenders with balls over the top and used his technique, power, and pace to make the difference in the final third, and it worked to devastating effect in the first half of that football game. But the problem was we didn't see much of a change in the tactic in the second half, and we didn't see Chelsea, kick on the second half and make adjustments in the game. What we saw the last year under Antonio Conte was a squad that was very fragile, very easy to get in the heads of. And then again last year under Maurizio Sarri, we saw a squad that they once again just showed the lack of a strong mentality, coming out in the second half and not looking very strong. And again, it seems to be rearing its ugly head again this season with Frank Lampard, where the squad just comes out of the second half and just looks a completely different side, no adjustments made, and looking second best in 3 out of the 4 games so far this season. This is one of the areas where I feel Frank needs to understand what we have here, a very young team, a very immature mentality, and he has to galvanize the squad either from the sidelines or coming out of the out of the dugout and really enforcing his will on the squad that way. The problem we're continually running into this season is we're not seeing a tactical adjustment in the second half of games. So when teams adjust to what we've done in the first half, we're not seeing the counterpunch from Jody and Frank to basically bring the game back under control for Chelsea. We're not seeing them make the adjustments that are visibly noticeable into the squad that make us feel a little bit more solid when the games are getting away from us. And today was a perfect example. Sheffield United played their 3-5-2, and in the first half they were a little bit more defensive. We had them hemmed in. They were playing with basically back 5. And we didn't see the adjustment in the second half when the midfield was getting overrun. Obviously, Jorginho and Kovacic were getting a little bit more leggy, and it was clear to me, it was evident to me that we needed another body in the midfield just to soak up some pressure and take the stress off of our holding midfielders. And we just didn't see that. So instead of making the necessary adjustments to counter what Sheffield United were able to do very well in the second half, we made like-for-like substitutions that had little to no effect on the game whatsoever. And the worst of them is we took off our best defensive midfielder on the day, which was Mateo Kovacic, and brought on an academy kid Billy Gilmore. And again, this is no indictment on Billy Gilmore. I'm glad he was able to come into the game and get his first real chance to play for Chelsea. But in that situation, it's a very difficult time to come into the game. If you're going to bring him into the game, I thought it would have been better to have him partnered with Jorginho and Mateo Kovacic in a midfield 3, and then have our wingers, whether it be Mount and Willian, fall back in and form a midfield 5 just to absorb the pressure a little bit more. We didn't do that, and unfortunately we were punished for an equalizer. And we can't say that the goal came against the run of play, because for large parts of the second half, Sheffield United were in the ascendancy of the game. And this is where I think that the in-game adjustments need to come to the fore. Frank needs to show that he can affect the game from the sidelines and make the adjustments in the game. And granted, this is not an easy thing for any manager to do. It takes a very brilliant, special mind to do it. But like I said before, I really do think Frank is astute enough and smart enough to make, to assess the game properly and make the adjustments as we go along. It's just going to take time for him to start recognizing when he needs to do so. But I think I'm going to wrap it up there. Chelsea squander another golden performance by Tammy Abraham. Another brace. In the last 2 games he put in 4 goals, and man, that bet I made is starting to look really, really bad right now. That's he's 11 away from 15, and what a number that would be for him to reach as a young player at Chelsea. 15 goals in his first real season in the first team. That would be remarkable, and I would have no problem paying out that bet that I made if we do see that happen. Long may continue, but unfortunately we're still looking leaky at the back. All sorts of errors back there. We do need organization back there. We need somebody that's going to be a commanding presence back there. Maybe, who knows? That's Rudiger. I don't believe that he's that type of player either, but a lot of people seem to believe that he is, so looking for that. And hopefully, who knows? I don't know anything about Reece James in terms of his Premier League pedigree, but a lot of people still are really high on him and think that he could be the answer at right back for us right now. Unfortunately, our captain is not giving us the minutes that we need from him right now, and really he needs to be taken out of the line of fire. If I'm not mistaken, I saw a stat again today where he gave away the ball another 20 times, which is 3 times more than anyone else at the club. So it's just getting out of control right now. We need to start getting solid performances from our right back, our captain, or he needs to be sitting on the bench. We can't have that sort of liability in a young squad, because as we've seen, mistakes like that are demoralizing. But we move on, you know, we got the international break right now. We get a chance to get a little bit more healthy. The Contes will come back, Rudiger, you know, aforementioned Reece James. And we also got Callum Hudson-Odoi, Pedro, and, you know, long-term injury, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. But yeah, we just can't be conceding goals like that anymore. We got the Champions League to look forward to, and like, not an easy draw by no means. Could have been harder, but you know, you can't look past teams like Lille, Valencia. Who was the other team? Who's the team I'm forgetting? There's another team I'm forgetting in there, but we just can't look past these teams. And you know, it's not going to be easy fixture. So we definitely got to shore up the back and get more leadership onto the pitch, whether it be from the sidelines on Frank just screaming out instructions, or from our leadership on the pitch, whether it be Jorginho, who I think would be a great example of a leader, or from, you know, somebody like Rudiger coming back in. But you know, we move on. We got the Wolves next, and we got to be ready for that game. We have to be ready, because that's a team that is very dangerous on the counter-attack, and they're very dangerous in possession as well. So we definitely have to be wary of that. But you know, we keep our heads high and, you know, up the Chelsea. Until then, you know, keep the blue flag flying high.